Hello everyone, here are the latest market news on February the 27th, 2020. Trump about epidemic, first case marked in the U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump announced that Vice President Pence will lead the administration's response to the deadly coronavirus in an attempt to encourage the public amid growing concerns of a global health crisis and criticism that the United States has been slow to respond to the fast-moving outbreak. The move came as a person in Northern California tested positive for the virus on Wednesday, marking the first case in the United States that has no known link to foreign travel or contact with someone known to be infected. That was a sign that the virus may be spreading in at least one location. Officials have begun tracing the contacts of the resident to find out how the person may have been infected and who else might have been exposed. Trump made no mention of the new case during his speech as he maintained an optimistic tone about the virus. Microsoft set to fund Indonesian data centers. Microsoft Corp is keen to invest in data centers in Indonesia, which will soon make regulatory changes to facilitate the move. The country's president Joko Widodo said after a meeting with the software giant's CEO on Thursday. Indonesia's digital economy is the largest and fastest growing in Southeast Asia and expect to reach some $130 billion by 2025 compared with $40 billion last year, according to Singapore state investor Temasek Holdings and Bain & Company. Microsoft wants to invest immediately in Indonesia, President Joko Widodo told reporters. So within a week we will decide a new simple regulation to support the investment, he added. UK's Johnson will introduce red lines to the EU. Prime Minister Boris Johnson will put the UK on opposite course with the European Union on Thursday, when he lays on his government's red lines before talks start on a post-Brexit trade agreement next week. The EU said earlier on Tuesday that no deal will be possible unless Britain signs up to so-called level playing field provisions to ensure it doesn't gain a competitive advantage by undercutting the bloc's regulations. But Johnson's office made clear only full independence will do and insisted the Premier will walk away and trade with the UK's closest markets without a formal deal if necessary. Johnson's government, which will publish its negotiating mandate later on Thursday, is expecting tensions with the bloc over competition and state aid rules. It also expects difficulties over fisheries, a contentious issue that EU chief negotiator Michel Barnier said this week must be resolved before a deal can be struck. Aston Martin's CFO resigns due to loss-making year. Aston Martin's chief finance officer will leave the company following a tough 2019 in which the luxury car maker's losses increased after sales dropped. Chief finance officer Mark Wilson will step down from his role no later than April the 30th. Meanwhile, he had not been fired. Furthermore, Aston Martin said last month that Canadian billionaire Lawrence Stroll would buy up to 20% of the company and existing shareholders would also inject more cash to stabilize the automaker. Overall, the luxury car maker, famed for being fictional agent James Bond's car of choice, posted a £104.3 million, $136 million pre-tax loss in 2019 after a 7% decline in core wholesale demand. The firm has also delayed plans to electrify its lineup until no earlier than 2025 and said they would focus on hybrid vehicles in the meantime, starting with the Valhalla model in 2022.